What is the most overlooked area in estate planning today? Without question, at least in my mind, it's how you pass on your retirement accounts to your loved ones, not your spouse, but especially when you and your spouse, if you're married, have passed away, and it goes to your kids or your grandkids or nieces and nephews or whatever you've done. So it's important to understand how those assets pass and how they don't pass. The most critical thing is how they don't pass. Your retirement accounts, when you name a beneficiary, that's the first thing they do when you fill out an account form, is it asks you to name a beneficiary. And usually people don't even think twice about it. You put down your spouse if you're married, and then maybe your kids as contingent beneficiaries. Yet that little box on the form has full control and authority over who gets what. And that creates some opportunities, but it also creates some potential problems. The biggest opportunity is it bypasses probate, okay? So it goes directly to those beneficiaries. The second biggest is that when you name an individual beneficiary, a person or people, they don't have to cash in the account all at once and pay all those income taxes. Which leads me to the other part of this. Your retirement accounts, your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, most, if not all of that money in there has never been taxed for income tax. So I'm talking about everything there except for a Roth. So you've not paid any of the income tax on most, if not all of the money. So if you didn't pay the income tax, who do you think is going to pay the income tax? It's going to be your heirs. And there's no exemption for that. If you have $100 in your retirement account, when you pass away, your kids are going to pay income taxes on $100 when they take it out of the account. Now, first off, they don't have to take it all out all at once. Now, this law did change last year. And so what the law says now is when it goes to a non-spouse beneficiary, most beneficiaries have to empty that account out within 10 years. Now, there's a few exceptions to that, but most have to empty it out within 10 years. It's completely up to them as how and when to take it over the 10 years. So it makes tax planning even more important for them. But we want to make sure they don't have to cash it all in at once and have to pay all those income taxes all at once on one tax return. And any distribution after the date of death is taxed to the beneficiary, not to you, not to your final year income tax return, not to the estate. It's ordinary income to the beneficiary. So it's very important. And then how you name beneficiary designations. You've got a little box on a form, and there's just not any room in there to put any kind of information. What if it goes to a minor beneficiary? Well, in most states, the minor beneficiary cannot take that money. Well, now it's going to have to go to court. The court's going to have to appoint somebody over that. There could be problems if people don't die in the right order. Are all the kids and grandkids going to be protected? So there's just a myriad of problems that can come up. Now, I have a special guide. It's a beneficiary checklist. It's right here at my website. If you go to resources, it's a complimentary download, and it's several pages. It's got a checklist of what you need to be thinking about when you name beneficiaries. And as you go through that, I think what you'll see is, wow, there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. And the reason for that is you've got this, what is for most of you your largest or second largest asset when you add all your retirement accounts together, yet you've got this little box on a form that's controlling all of that, as opposed to the 8 or 10 or 12 pages in your will. So it needs more care and more treatment. So download my complimentary guide for the beneficiary checklist, and you can get on your way to fixing what I view as the #1 overlooked issue in estate planning today.